Coming to paperback and e-readers, Spinsterella Goth Girl Summer. Take a trip into the macabre world of goth modeling in the new millennium in this all-new Spinsterella story. Pre-order your copy of Spinsterella Goth Girl Summer at Amazon.com and other online booksellers everywhere. A man is in custody for allegedly shooting and killing a 28-year-old woman and injuring a man, all because a man allegedly brushed up against his Mercedes.
A Houston family is grieving after a 28-year-old woman was shot and killed in downtown Dallas. Ashley Long was murdered earlier this month. Kendrick Finch is accused of murdering her and shooting a friend she was with at the time. Court records reveal the shootout started after what appeared to be a harmless act. Fox 4's Peyton Yeager spoke to Long's family. Peyton.
Steve, and Ashley Long's family want her to be remembered as a career-oriented woman who had big dreams. Also, she was known as a glowing spirit and a loving friend and a loving daughter. In the immediate days after Ashley's murder, her family took to social media to spread awareness about this case. 2 weeks later, the suspect turned himself in to police. On a sunny Wednesday in downtown Dallas, stickers of 28-year-old Ashley Long are left along Main Street.
Her angel number was 444.
But on April 5th, it was a rainy night.
I'm still like in a fog. I just feel like I'm in a daze every day.
Ashley Long's family speaking for the first time since their daughter was murdered during a night out in Dallas. Long, a realtor visiting from the Richmond-Rosenberg area southwest of Houston. She and a group of friends left a downtown Dallas bar just after 2 a.m. According to an arrest warrant affidavit, surveillance video captured the shooting off Main Street. Police say a man Ashley was with reached out and brushed his hand along the passenger side of a passing Mercedes. The passenger of that car, later identified by detectives as 34-year-old Kendrick Finch, exited the Mercedes with a gun in his hand. The affidavit states a man with Ashley reached into her purse and pulled out his gun. That's when police say Finch opened fire, striking both Ashley and the man she was with. That man was able to fire back. Finch then took off. Ashley later died at the hospital. The man who she was with was also shot. He survived. Ashley's family left shocked when police revealed the details leading up to the shooting, also with a flurry of questions.
One of the first words from the detective was, if she would have been in a place 5 minutes before or 5 minutes after, this would have never happened. It literally was a random act. And that's what's so sickening.
According to police, a few hours after the shooting, Finch called officers and told them he was the passenger in the Mercedes. It wasn't until April 18th when Finch turned himself in after Dallas police put a call out to the public on social media. Video of the moment was captured by Smash the Topic. Ashley's family used this photo on social media to spread awareness and ensure the suspect was caught. A mission that's only beginning as they navigate life without Ashley.
I can't even text her because I text her every night. You know, good night, love you, and it's gone.
You've got Mother's Day. You've got Father's Day. We don't get to have that now.
Finch does have a criminal history, including drug charges and burglary. He remains in the Dallas County Jail this evening. His bond, $500,000. Steve?
All right, very sad story. Peyton Yeager in Dallas tonight, thank you.
Now, in this alleged incident that took place on Main Street in Dallas, Texas, 28-year-old Ashley Long and a man who she was with were coming out of a bar, and as they were coming out of a bar, he allegedly brushed up against a Mercedes that Kendrick Finch was sitting in the passenger seat of. And after this man brushed up against the Mercedes, Kendrick Finch then got out of the vehicle with a loaded firearm, and after he got out of the Mercedes, he then wound up taking out that firearm and then began shooting. And as he began shooting, what he did was eventually wind up hitting and wounding the man who brushed up against his vehicle. And as this man took out his weapon, he began to return fire. And as he returned fire, eventually what happened was Ashley Long got caught up in the crossfire. And as she wound up getting shot, Kendrick Finch then got back into his vehicle and drove away from the scene. And after this, Ashley Long was brought to the hospital where she was pronounced dead, and the man she was with was shot and wounded. Now, after this happened, a few hours later, Finch called the police to tell him he was the passenger in the Mercedes, and then told them information that had not been publicly released, and then decided to turn himself in, where he was taken into custody and is now currently being held on $500,000 bond. Now, the Dallas police see this whole situation as an isolated incident, but when I take a critical examination of Kendrick Finch's alleged behavior, it definitely fits the pattern and profile of beta males that I talk about in my book, The Man Crisis, and also fits the pattern and profile of behavior of simps that I talk about in my book, Stop Simping, Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance. And it's clear to me that Kendrick Finch is one of these beta male simps who definitely has low self-esteem, and has low self-esteem to the point where he basically sees this car that he was in as having more value than his intangibles of manhood. And because he saw this car as having more value than his intangibles of manhood, he was looking to act on impulse and look to do harm to people, all because they brushed up against this car. And that really shows how this male was a man in crisis because he didn't understand the value of himself as related to this vehicle. Now, when it comes down to a lot of beta males, they have extremely low self-esteem. And again, since they have low self-esteem, they put value in attachments that they use to get the attention of people. And because they put such high value on these attachments, they're willing to sacrifice their intangibles of manhood, such as their dignity, such as their self-respect, such as their self-worth, and such as the most important intangibles, your freedom and your life. That's what Kendrick Finch thought had a low value compared to this Mercedes-Benz. A Mercedes-Benz which he was driving up and down the street and possibly again riding up in because he wanted to get that attention from people. And when this guy brushed up against this car, this possession he thought had more value than those intangibles, and that's why he was ready to just jump out that car with a loaded firearm, because he was looking to defend his own self-worth, which was all wrapped up in this car. Now, as he acted on his impulses, he wasn't really thinking critically about the consequences of his actions or the proportion of his response in compared to these actions, because when it comes down to a guy brushing up against a car, that's something most dudes brush off, and they brush it off because they know that that car really doesn't have much value at all, because once you take a car and you buy a car and you drive it off the lot, it basically loses over 50% of its value, and as it loses 50% of its value, you're basically, again, just driving around in something that's losing money every day. And that's why smart men don't go out here and buy expensive cars to go show out, because they know that this car is losing value every day. Moreover, when it comes to these cars, they basically are a thing that is basically becomes a money pit, especially imported cars like Mercedes-Benz. When it comes to Mercedes-Benz basically, they get a lot of status with the people in the streets, but the maintenance eats you up. I mean, when it comes to a Benz, that maintenance eats you up, because things like that air ride suspension, basically, that's going to cost you money to maintain. Moreover, it's going to be other things in that car, like the hydraulics and other things like the power steering and other issues. I mean, yeah, that car may cost $100,000, but it's going to cost you over $200,000 to keep it. And usually when it comes to those cars, once they hit 150,000 miles, they just become junk. So most smart men don't really see these cars as having value to the point where they're willing to, again, go out here and fight over them. No, for smart men, a car is a A to B vehicle. It's just a thing to get you where you want to go. And after it gets you where you want to go, and you basically don't need it no more, you then put it up on sale and then get rid of that thing because it's just eating you up. That's what this guy didn't understand, because he had low self-esteem. And because he had low self-esteem, he thought this Mercedes Benz was something to go out here and fight for, when in actuality, many of these Benzes can be had at an auto auction for basically under $1,000, and had for under $1,000 because most people don't want to deal with all of the maintenance issues that basically eat a dude up. And that's why most people who know about money really ain't that much into these Mercedes. No, they just go out here, get them a good A to B car like a Honda Accord or a Subaru Impreza or a Toyota Camry, and just keep it pushing, because again, cars are just transportation. They're not meant to be something that you think is going to get the attention of people, but simps go out here and think they need to get the attention of people, and they put so much of themselves into these vehicles that they think that the car, in some cases, is worth more than their dignity and their self-respect. And in the case of Kendrick Finch, he was thinking it was worth more than his freedom. And that's what had him acting on impulse to jump out of that car when a dude brushed up on it, not understanding that, yeah, that's just going to happen when you have a car in the street. Sometimes people, when they coming out of a bar, they're going to be drunk, and sometimes they might wind up falling on a vehicle, and that's just what happens. And if there ain't no major damage, you just go out here and just leave it alone, because usually what happens in some cases is that people, again, they be drunk, and sometimes they just fall on the side of a vehicle. But in this case, this dude just brushed up against the vehicle, and again, if there is no paint scratches, and even if there were paint scratches, that's something that can easily be fixed if you've got good clear. I mean, if you've got good clear on your car, all you got to do is buff that right out, and your car is cool. But this guy, again, he wasn't cool, because he basically was out here looking to go out here and show out with this by sitting in the passenger seat of a car, which to me shows his low self-esteem. I mean, you sitting in the passenger seat of a car, and you ain't even driving the car, and you getting all upset because somebody brushed against your car. Again, that's something most guys just brush off, because they understand there are more important things in life as related to them being able to achieve their goals. And again, with this car depreciating, they understand they can let this car go. I mean, that's all part of a dude who has real money. Again, true to the game, Baller has a daily driver. He ain't taking his nice car out to be on those streets late at night. No, he's got that car in a garage. Meanwhile, he's got the daily driver, and again, he ain't really trying to impress nobody, because if you got real money, you can go out here and again charge that car to the game and go get you another car. That's what a true to the game baller can do. But when you're a perpetrating simp with low self-esteem, you sit there and you in the passenger seat of another man's car, or a car that you're basically buying with another dude, and you're trying to go out here and flex, but people look at you and they look at your behavior and they see that you're not really what you say you are, because again, Baller ain't really concerned with nobody brushing up against the car. Not really a problem for him, but it was a problem for this dude. And it was such a problem for this dude that he couldn't see that he basically wound up jamming himself up, because after he came out of this car, this biracial or light-skinned black man again came out the car with a loaded firearm. And as he came out of that car with that loaded firearm, he then shot at this white woman, and that basically put the nail in the coffin as related to him and his life. I mean, in a place like Texas, here you got a black guy shooting at a white woman. And again, that basically is the end for that dude, because now that he's gone out here and confessed to this crime, he's been charged with murder, and now will possibly be on a road from riding in that car to basically taking a trip up to the county jail, to basically putting himself in a place of getting convicted and winding up taking a bus ride to the penitentiary on that hot school bus. And after he takes that hot bus ride on the school bus to the penitentiary, he's going to go from having to be able to sit in a Mercedes and ride a car with his freedom to being told what to do by the COs. And then after being told what to do by the COs, he's going to be dealing with the social pecking order of Bubba, Tiny, Roscoe, Big Dave, Melvin, and Mr. Sprinkles, who will not be giving him a ride in a car, but will be running a train on him as they trade his front side and his backside for Little Debbie snack cakes, ramen noodles, packets of Crystal Light lemonade, packets of Crystal Light tea, Keef coffee, Taster's Choice coffee, off-brand orange drink, off-brand grape drink, off-brand lemon lime drink, off-brand fruit punch, off-brand mango drink, off-brand apple juice, off-brand Oreo cookies, off-brand duplex cookies, off-brand lemon cookies, off-brand vanilla cookies, off-brand vanilla wafers, off-brand ginger snaps, off-brand sugar wafers, Hunt's snack pack puddings, hot and sour pickles, hot tamales, hot peppers, packets of soy sauce, packets of sriracha sauce, beef summer sausage, pork cracklings. I mean, they're going to be basically trading this dude for all of the commissary stuff that you could find in a bodega for under $2. He's going to have to wind up paying $3 to $5 as he's working a job making 10 cents an hour and eating slop in the cafeteria, and then having to supplement his whole thing by being traded in the commissary, trading his front side and his backside with Bubba, Tiny, Roscoe, Big Dave, Melvin, and Mr. Sprinkles, who basically are going to be spit roasting this dude for the rest of his life. And then after getting spit roasted, he's going to have to deal with the humiliation of having Mr. Sprinkles come in and then sprinkle that light-skinned booty with the special sauce in the front side and the backside, then call all the guys from Cell Block D to see this dude's backside after he splits the cheeks open and lets everybody see his backside looking like the inside of a Louisiana crunch cake. That, sadly, is the fate that Kendrick Finch possibly will have to deal with after, again, taking the life of this white woman outside of that bar, all over something as trivial as getting your car brushed up on. Again, something most healthy men just take in stride. And again, take in stride because if you take in your vehicle out on Saturday night, that's just what's part of what can happen if you park your car outside of a bar. But these guys, again, were simps, and they thought, oh, I'll park this car outside this bar and I'll think that I'll be fly, not understanding that if you do that, you're taking a risk because you got drunk people coming out the bar, you got people who are inebriated, and again, chances of you getting your car brushed up on are very high, and that's why you don't put your car outside of that bar. No, only simps do this because they think that they're gonna go out here and flex and look, oh, these girls are gonna see me. They think that I work fly because we got a Benz that you possibly, if you can't really afford it, you start going out here thinking that you're gonna come out with a strap, looking to go out here and take somebody out for brushing up against your car. Again, these guys were basically lame, and again, this guy was so lame that he basically showed it as related to his impulsive behavior, no critical thinking whatsoever, because he wasn't thinking about more important intangibles of his manhood, such as his freedom, and now he's possibly going to wind up losing his manhood because after shooting a white female, again, a black man is again on a fast track to for life in prison, and that's possibly what's going to happen to this dude because he didn't know how to navigate through his emotions. I mean, dude, you in the passenger seat of a car that you possibly don't own, and again, messing up your life over a car that will basically be either sent to the junkyard or the auto auction, again, going to depreciate over time. And that's what happens when you don't think about things critically regarding your life. I mean, men who have, again, self-esteem and have money of their own, they understand, again, cars are just change, and people change cars in many cases, just like they change their underwear if they've got that type of money, and usually know that if you've got a car, again, it's not your life, it's not what your life is all about, and you don't put more important intangibles below that car. I mean, if you have self-esteem and self-worth, you don't put your self-esteem on four wheels. You understand that God made you, and because God made you, you have value. But this man, again, didn't understand this at 34 years old, and he's gone from being a free man to now winding up on the road to becoming a man in crisis. Now, if you want to learn how to identify the behavior of beta males to help someone in your family to keep them from winding up messing up their life the way this guy did, you can pick up my book, The Man Crisis, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find The Man Crisis at other online bookstores like Draft the Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and big box retailers like Walmart and Target. And if you'd like to learn how to identify the behavior of a simp and the simp paradigm to break out of the simp paradigm and become a more healthy man, you can pick up my book, Stop Simping: Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance, on Amazon.com, along with The Man Crisis, and that book will teach you how not to participate in simp behavior and not to jam yourself up by getting emotional over something as trivial as a car. That's all. And if you want to see me make more videos like this, you can drop a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the link in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Esteemed Season of the Witch Girl. The aspiring angel takes on a wicked teenage witch in this action-packed, all-new Esteemed series adventure. Pick up your copy of Esteemed Season of the Witch Girl in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers today. Now available in paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, A Thorn in My Side. The man who rules the world takes on an agent from the CIA from the Black Boule in this all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get your copy of John Haynes' A Thorn in My Side in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.